A crazy play, one of the most entertaining clips I think that he's probably hit in a long time with that end game that we saw in that first game, putting them top of the leaderboard now, but they're going to be landing at the moment to the very north of the map. They're going to be uncontested as well, and this was one thing that I did enjoy, the fact that everyone had their own little drop spot. Everyone was playing, what we'd say, with a large amount of respect for each other at the start of this game, as Noko seems like he's just seen a ghost. Everything good?
I think he's all right. I think he's just adjusting, getting back into the game.
I think he saw some Cocoa Puffs. He was like,
"Oh,
no, that's my whole thing."
Getting frame drops.
Stop me in my tracks, to be fair. Any kind of food that's left unattended usually gets my attention.
Someone's been.
But, yeah, someone's been here. Why have they left food out? Anyway, it's enough about thinking like a bear in the woods, more about thinking like an Apex commentator, as we're going to watch Autumn looting up as well. And once again, we're not seeing too many fights go down early on, but I would say, Jake and Bake Live, you're in the position which usually gets third-partied a lot. I'm looking over at the northwestern side of the map. There's usually a couple of teams rotating around this area, looting around to find their way to that circle. So you've got to be pretty quick and aware in this kind of area.
I also want to give a shout out to Jake and Bake real fast. There's been a long-going meme on TwitchRivals of OMG lost to an IRL streamer, killed by an IRL streamer with Jake and Bake. I see him more on TwitchRivals than I do anywhere else. The guy is clearly very good at shooting games at this point. I feel like at this point I'm just going to respect him as a shooter.
Oh, and as you're saying that, there is quite the fight coming out of Jake and Bake's squad right now, and I mean, this could go in their favor. I was actually a little bit concerned at first because I was about to say that this is an area where people can easily run into other squads very early on, and I was worried for them, but... Oh, okay, all right. I was.
Oh, he got one HP. Can he get an armor swap? Can he get an armor swap? Oh my god, it was nearly a 3v1,
dude. I had to.
That was crazy.
So it started off with the Horizon Q going down, and they were able to get a lot of damage in when they were using it to try and escape. I think they cracked at least one armor on someone, and it went down from there. I really thought that Kareem was going to be able to do it.
That was crazy. I mean, Lou got a stick right at the start of that with an arc star on someone. That did a lot of damage. They pushed off a bit. Lou unfortunately got knocked, which is a great defensive reply. But I mean, the 1v1 coming in from Tiff and Jesse, that was what you wanted to see. Oh, those moments, they live with you forever in Apex Legends. You clutch up in those moments, those 1v1s, you tell everyone about it for months to come. But at the moment, We The People is dropping down the bubble as he's getting pushed at the moment. The race is going to take quite a lot of damage. Jiggle peeking in and out, inside and outside of that bubble. They do manage to get the first knock, and it's going to be Madness who goes down. So now that is going to have to drop and try and get that battery off to get her shields back up. But unfortunately, going to be taking some damage along the way.
Oh, she is able to get a bat off, and it looks like that they might be able to back off and fully heal at this point. I'm surprised that this is the new beginning for a lot of these squads. I think maybe they saw some of the points from the first game and realized how important it was going to be, because this was a squad that you'd wanted to watch earlier on onset, and they had a rough start in game one. So I feel like they're coming out of the gate here a little bit stronger to try and catch up, like we had said some squads might be forced into doing here in game two.
Yeah, they absolutely decimated that team. That was unfortunately Madness and Lulu who went down. Don't know if the last player did manage to get alive, but I think it was a complete squad wipe. And you were talking about how aggression might change, right, from game one to game two as we roll through. Already we've seen 5 squads eliminated, I believe that is at the start of this game, which is yeah, certainly a turn up for the books, as we're going to see We The People finally get the final kill. It was actually Madness who was coming back to try and get those banners, but you know, but banner camping, you know, you got to get those points on the board, and that was how that did actually finish that fight. So now we're going to see them make their rotation across the map and try and find themselves a little comfy home for now, or maybe for another fight. It's got full 20 ammo as well.
Yeah,
20 ammo. That's a lot of ammo. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's a lot more than they could possibly need, but we've been also seeing a lot of people just like shredding really early on with the Spitfire, jumping on board here now with Calamity, Team Calamity with Nicewig and Timmy. Same comp as game one, which is I'm just here for the chaos, and this squad is who's bringing it. So this is why they're my favorite. Okay, it's not about it's because they showed up and they were ready to game. It wasn't about conservative gameplay. They have taken every opportunity to push anyone in front of them. And for the most part, it was successful because we saw Timmy was all the way up at the end with Yurice. So not only were they getting the kills, but they were alive long enough to actually get a multiplier that made it really matter. As we see the Death Totem popped!
I was going to say, here we go. We're going to see them get involved once again. Here comes the Royal Rumble as we see Nicewig hit the pad. We're going to see Timmy hit the pad as well. They're making the assault on the castle. The question is, can they manage to take him down? Unfortunately, Timmy's going to be sent back almost immediately. It looks like Nicewig will be as well. So that push unsuccessful. Maybe just a little bit too much space between where they got that Death Totem down. But at the same time, if you don't put it in a place where you can't get pushed off the back end of it, then you can't recover and reset those shields and those cells and get yourself back up to a full complement of HP. So not the worst idea in the world, but unfortunately, you have to give credit to the team that was inside the building on the other end of this push, and they just managed to hold it off, send everyone back.
Oh my god, we can do it again.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think in that scenario specifically, it was literally only the distance that was working against them, because if they had been closer, they would have been able to recover a little bit faster from being sent back to the Death Totem. But I do still love the idea behind it. I love the aggression, especially because you can hear them, and even though they're just full sending on teams, there is zero stress. They're communicating well. Yeah, well, I mean, why not?
They're going to try this again. There's been an ult accelerant dropped. Eric Clamet is popping in right now. Stay on this point of view for a few more moments if we can, because they're setting up. They're saying, look, it didn't work the first time, right? But second time around, we're gonna try from a different angle. I think they're going to try a different angle of approach. Maybe get that Death Totem down. We'll have to see if that does happen. But I mean, just look at 14 squads now remaining. We've lost 6 squads already. Definitely a little bit of a quicker game in this game number 2, Lauren.
I am a fan. I love that for these teams, because I feel like the whole thing is literally called chaos theory. Like, we want the chaos, we want the insanity, we want these teams to just kind of be going for it, and it will pay off big for them if they can do it well in the end. There's money on the line here. As we see, they are already pushing yet again with their Death Totem engaged.
This could be...
They are a lot closer this time on set.
This could be the dirtiest third party you've ever seen in your life. They're waiting for the fight to go down. They're going to then move in and try and clean things up. Timmy goes for 2 sticks, gets nothing to come back with and celebrate, because he missed both of those. Nicewig and Calamity still in the Death Totem though, and still doing a lot of damage. Nicewig will now be sent back. The question is, can they close that gap quick enough? They're going to hit that pad once more. It looks like the call has come. We've done enough damage here. We need to get in there, and we need to finish off these kills. But at the moment, it looks like Timmy's just kind of chasing shadows at the moment.
Ooh, I feel like they almost lost them all in all of the insanity that ensued after they got sent back to their Death Totem, but Timmy is able to find at least 1 or 2 more players. Calamity goes down to somebody in the other building across the way from Timmy. But I think Wig's going to be able to be close enough that they can push up together. Now Timmy gets a knock onto Harris, actually. But I believe we've got another squad trying to come in third party now on set.
This was one of the teams which was involved in the original fight. That was the team that Reps is on that you can see at the moment trying to back away. Timmy now is being chased down. He's hitting a jump pad, but he's going to be taken down. So the aggressors, unfortunately, are the ones who have come off on the worst side of this fight. They wanted to be the third party. Unfortunately, they've been the first party to find the dirt in that particular battle. Nicewig now trying to get away and pop that med kit and maybe thinking about getting some banners, but that push did not go well for them, and that's the issue sometimes, right? You say, like, you get the free push with Revenant, but if it doesn't work, and there's a couple of teams still around the area, you get pushed, you've got to pop those meds, and it's a little bit more difficult to coordinate than some people maybe would give it credit for. But Nicewig now, at least he's on the Octane, right? At least you can get out of dodge nice and quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's the risk versus the reward. You know, if that had played out in their favor, that would have been massive points for them, and they would have taken more people out of the lobby, ensuring a higher multiplier for them. But like you said, we saw Dyrus, Reps, and Eugen all ready in the area as well, and it was just a little bit too much action for Calamity Squad to kind of take on themselves. Now, luckily, I believe Nicewig was able to get out clean, so depending on how, you know, he decides to play it from here, he can either try to go back and get the banners or just try to stay alive for his squad. But honestly, at that point, I just go for the banners.
The only problem is Reps is sitting in this building with his 2 teammates overlooking the banners. So anyone who wants to try and pop their head round a corner and pick those banners up will be hit by a crypto EMP that you can see being deployed here or a couple of guns that are going to be pointing towards their general direction. But now we're on with our team, one of our teams who finished inside of the top 5, I believe, from our first game. It's going to be Snipe Down, Hao, and Jowo. Okay. And they're looking to get a little bit aggressive again. Jowo on the Bloodhound. He's doing those scans, getting that information of where those players are going to be, and then allowing Snipe Down and Hao to move up. And I like the fact that Snipe Down and Hao both on Horizon and Wraith, respectively, means that they're going to be able to get up nice and aggressive, get the height with the Horizon, but also you've got that portal ability, the Q to get out of dodge on the Wraith. Nice aggressive composition here as well.
Yeah, you can see on the minimap there up on the screen exactly where the rest of the squads are spread out right now. There's a lot of north-heavy teams. So that's going to be one of the scarier areas. It seemed like the southwest was like the most open, and I think I only saw one squad rotating in from that area, which is this. Was it this team? It might just be them. I don't even know anymore who I saw. But I saw Sweet and crew down at the bottom. I would be afraid of what's going on in the northern half of this zone right now.
We're just moving down towards a tower which overlooks the center of Kings Canyon. Nice shots once again with Hao with the flatliner, his weapon of choice once again, like we saw in game number 1 where he was doing so much damage, and again just doing damage at range. It was only 28 that time, but those shots are very difficult to hit with the recoil, like I mentioned, on the flatliner. Now you're going to see where that zone is going to pull, and that's a difficult zone to pull, to predict. You can see there's a lot of mountainous area in there. It's going to be one of those zones where you're kind of hedging your bets on where it's going to be pulling.
I was kind of hoping for something like this, though, because I'm apparently the evil one out of the two of us here on set. Because when you combine
your words, not mine. Your words, not mine. I've never said that, Lauren.
Come on. This could be like you said, depending on where it pulls. But if you combine it with the flares in the right place, this could be insane.
Yeah, this could be. I've never called you evil. Dude, I've never actually said it out loud. Okay, it's a very different thing. Well, Snipe Down's looking for blood on the edge of zone at the moment. You can see there's going to be a scan coming in behind him, and that is why you have Snipe Down on your team. The one clip on Tiff at Jesse, and then some big shots as well. Slides around the corner with the Eva 8. It's almost going to get the knock as well, but does get the finish. Fortunately, that last player did manage to get back through the portal, and you have to see if he can flat through or if it's going to be taken down. Some shots coming into the side here with Snipe Down as well, but he's just going to beam this player in the back. Hardly any HP left, unfortunately, for Andrew from His and Hairs TV, and that will be a comfortable finish, as the zone should finish that one off. But you can hear the comms come in from Hao as well, and where they're going to be rotating, popping the Phoenix kit for now to get back up to full HP, but they've actually got a little bit of a difficult rotation in now, because you can see they've got the furthest to go towards the zone, and they're going to be on the quicker side of that ring closing.
It's all going to depend on whether or not all the rest of the squads that are already closer to the zone. You can see up top there, you can see Autumn's team already making the same rotation. Are any of the teams going to try to gatekeep people pushing in, or are they so focused on trying to secure a spot for themselves and potentially running into other squads that they're not even looking for something like that? This could potentially be a rough fight if Team Autumn runs into Team Jowo.
Where they just did see a charge rifle heading down the hill towards a team. And we just saw finish off that fight. I believe it was Hao who actually took the bulk of that beam rifle, and it's going to be Yuris who's got it in his hands. So it's actually, sorry, excuse me, this is a different team which is up on the hillside outpost at the moment. It's going to be a longbow in the hands of Yuris. He hasn't got a huge amount of ammo to work with, but as we saw in the last game, you can give this man a magic wand and he'll make something happen with it inside of Apex Legends. It doesn't matter what's in his hands. But for now, a little bit of calm. Only 9 squads remaining as well, which means there's a lot of playable area for a lot of these teams at the moment. It means that they're not going to be forced engagements too much. There's not going to be too many teams who are forced to fight for particular areas. You can see at the moment, Imperial House, Snipe Down, and Jowo, they've managed to walk their way up without taking any damage whatsoever.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if Team Autumn knows that Team Jowo is currently directly under them. This could spell disaster for Team Autumn if they're not prepared for this push. I believe that the other person who might have been sniping, it was either Blitzkai's crew, or I think I saw Brigsada, because I saw a girl's name up there. So it might be one of those two teams. In either scenario, there are a lot of people in this area. I think some people are trying to play the edge of the zone and be a little bit safer, but because there's so many of them doing it, it's no better than trying to get a spot in the safe zone ahead of time at this point. It's a complete crapshoot either way.
Well, now we're going to see the potential push going in. You can see Noko's trying to get a few angles here to put some damage down to stop this push coming in. But with 2 teams in the area, I'm not sure if that 3rd team is still in the area, because if there's 2 teams, it's fine. It's an isolated 3v3 fight. But if there's a 3rd team overlooking this fight and waiting for a knock to come in, then that 3rd-party opportunity does present itself. But now it looks like they're actually going to try and rotate ahead. And I love this coming in from Hao, Snipedown, and Jowo. Great IGLing once again from Hao and Snipedown, making their move ahead of the team that was essentially in front of them, gatekeeping them, seeing that opportunity to move before they have, and now they're safe inside that next zone, as you can see.
Right on the edge, too, and they still do have to focus on what this squad is going to do. They have to worry about where they are, how they're going to push them, because they only have so much space and time to really make a move here, considering where the zone's going to push into and who they also might have to fight their way through once they get higher up the mountain. We see Autumn using some of those thermite grenades. She is doing some decent damage to their shields as that Horizon ult does come through. You see Noko make the push in. I think this is it. This is their full send moment on set.
Yeah, they're going in. Jowo's doing the E for 8 as well, trying to hit some shots. He will be knocked, so up to Hao and Snipedown to finish things off. Urice was the player, once again, who initiated the fight and got the initial knock. But you can see now there is a 3rd party coming in, and it looks like Snipedown and Hao will survive for now. Jowo hasn't been finished as well, so he should be brought back to his feet. But that 3rd party coming in, that's going to buy them a little bit of time to get those meds off, and they're going to absolutely beam the last player who tries to pop through that window, and that's going to be Noko taken down, and it will be Snipedown and Hao living for now.
I mean, that was, it had to happen, right? Because it's not like Team Autumn could just leave that building safely, and Team Joe was not just about to let them make that rotation. So no matter what, that engagement had to happen. I think it was just smart that Team Jowo was able to make it more on their terms, right? They made the fight safer for them to take. They had the spot that they could hold if they really needed to, that forced Team Autumn up onto them. So smart play by Team Jowo. Now they seem to be able to hopefully push up. And then it is Team Bliss Kai, like I said earlier, that's up on that high ground.
They're going to be popping batteries, you can imagine. There's only so much playable zone all of a sudden. They've got to be very careful here. As you can see, Prodigy Aces, so I put my teeth back in to get a sentence out, is going to be turning around because he knows that Hao Snipedown are behind him at the moment. Bliss Kai with some shots into the air with the Spitfire as well, and they do manage to pick up a kill onto actual Rat that was behind him, which was Shiny, the solo player, alive. So now we're down to 5 squads left, and just going back to that fight we saw between Noko's team and Hao's team a few moments ago as well, is, you know, that was a case of the gatekeeper became the gatekeepee. It was very interesting. They were being gatekept initially, managed to make that rotation, that split-second decision, and then held out the team behind them. It was a phenomenal flip of events, and now you can see them having to make their way up the hill, but Jowo's going to get absolutely beamed by Prodigy Aces.
That was going to be a rough push regardless. I mean, they knew that there was a team behind them. It was something they were looking for. As Prodigy Aces is continuing to deal out damage, he tries to put some damage into the Horizon as she uses her Q, but they're honestly in a really decent spot right now.
Fine. Those guys will get
very much in a decent spot. The only issue they might have is the fact that they've just been forced to use their Gibby bubble, so that might give other teams opportunities to nade. And now you can see Prodigy is just trying to create a little bit of space for his team to not get caught in a corner and try and get some shots onto teams that are pushing up. And as you can see, once again, he's going to try and zoom in on this team who are trying to make their way up the hill. As we now find ourselves with 4 squads remaining. And they're in a great position here, Lauren, to potentially win this game.
Save your bubble for last minute.
I mean, they've got the high ground on anyone that might be below them. They have vision, or at least some knowledge on where some of those other squads are, and they have a lot of cover that they can work with if they can just maintain some of those angles. This is actually your squad, on set. We see Team Latin Cat being the team that's actually inside this building and has been dishing out damage to Team Bliss Kai this entire time, while Prodigy Ace is trying to keep everybody off of them.
Hey, maybe I do know what I'm talking about. I surprised myself a little bit here, and now they're going to make the push as well. You can see they've taken Ruth, so they have the ultimate high ground in what will be this potential final fight or final closing moments of our game number 2, as we, the people, hits a big 130 plus, and now Zach Mazer with a beautiful flank as well. A big nade, a huge peacekeeper shot, and a clean wipe coming in from Zach Mazer and his team. He is the ALGS champion, the reigning, defending, and he is showing exactly why with that push.
That frag was so well placed and allowed him to just be so much more aggressive than he should have been on that team. And that's going to be huge points-wise for that squad. Love to see that. And somehow I did notice that Snipedown is still alive.
He was alive, but he's been taken out now because Zach Mazer is a man possessed right now. Take it to the sky. He's got the Spitfire in his hands. I've already said it once, but it's coming in once more as he tries to finish off the final kill onto Princess as well. And Zach Mazer has 10 kills in this game, and he's looking to make it 11. Pick up the win. Zach Mazer is a man.